Thanks to Lenovo Legion and AMD for sponsoring this video. All right, so you're standing in front of two laptops. Right in front of you. One, it looks clean, it's capable, it's confident, ready to handle whatever you throw at it. The other looks like it has been overclocked straight out of the box. It's brighter, it's bulkier, a little more aggressive. Both are called Legion. Both offer serious gaming performance, but only one has Pro in the name. And if you've ever bought tech before, you know that one little word can mean anything or nothing. But before we get into Pro and not Pro and what that means here, tell you what I can do for you. And this is something that I've been doing now for years and I love it. It makes me happy every morning. Give you a chance to win $500 for supporting the channel all of these years. Made it super easy. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me the first game you would play on your brand new Legion 5 or Legion 5 Pro. Give the video a thumbs up. Make sure there's a way to contact you either in the comment or on your YouTube page if I click your link. Let it run for 10 days, open to anyone in the world. All right, so we got the Legion 5 and the Legion Pro 5. What separates these two? I think more importantly, which one's like worth your money? And if you're weighing both options, I wanna kind of break it down for you. I've spent like real time with each. The Lenovo Legion 5 and the Legion Pro 5. I wanna kind of break down what's different between them, because looking at these, if you go to Lenovo's website, it's hard to determine like who is for, what you can expect from each in terms of thermals, screen quality, performance. And some of the games that I'm playing, Spider-Man 2 and Hogwarts Legacy, the big touch on fan noise, because if I'm being honest, if you're gaming on either of these in a quiet room, your laptop will be the loudest person there. So let's start with the Pro. This thing, at least the one that I have, came absolutely loaded. Mine is running the AMD Ryzen 9. It's the 8945HX, got 32 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 5070 GPU, and the CPU here is basically a laptop version of AMD's desktop class 7950X, which just means it's ridiculously capable. Under the right conditions, casually can pull desktop level scores in Cinebench. At least while I was sitting there wondering how something this thin has not taken off into orbit. And it's still, and to its credit, managed to stay really cool enough, and that's largely due to Lenovo's Legion cold front hyper system with real big heat pipes and smart airflow that vents hot air out the back, which is important, away from your hand where your mouse is, which is a sentence I think true gamers that put a lot of time into their computers can appreciate. You have these computers that are incredibly powerful. You have to wear heat-resistant gloves because the air coming out will melt little hairs off your hand. Legion 5, on the other hand, is not trying to flex on your power bill. Mine's equipped with 32 gigabytes of RAM and a 15.1-inch WXGA OLED display. And I want to talk screens for a second because that might be the most underrated thing about this laptop. It's vibrant, it's fast, 165 hertz, and I think it's flat out gorgeous. If you're the type of person who's editing video or staring at color all day, you're going to absolutely love this. Probably more importantly, it plays games beautifully too, but I'll get to that. So you've got all that power. Next question is, how does it stay cool? If you came here hoping either of these machines would be whisper quiet under load, they are not. They're gaming laptops and they do sound like it. There's a big difference between being loud and being annoying. I've never heard like coil whine. The fan pitch isn't high and whiny. Even at full tilt, it just sounds like air coming through, not like a baby jet engine trying to take off from your desk. I ran most of these in balance mode. The Pro 5 there especially runs surprisingly quiet for what it's pushing. And Legion 5 I thought held its own too. And you're going to definitely hear them, but you're not gonna hate them. And if you've used a lot of gaming laptops, you should know exactly what I mean. These fans are not just there for show, because when it comes to in-game performance, both laptops hold their own too. In Hogwarts Legacy, both machines did great with the ray tracing turned on, DLSS set to quality. So on the Pro 5 with the 5070 running like full bore, you're probably looking at 80 to 100 FPS in most areas, even in high demand environments. In Cyberpunk, especially like Phantom Liberty, closer to 60 to 70 FPS in native resolution. But DLSS and frame generation bring that up to, I thought was a really nice buttery like 90 plus in performance mode. Legion 5, definitely a more power conscious CPU, still handled that game extremely well. Just don't try to max things out or kind of have ray tracing on, or pretend that 8 gigabytes of VRAM is infinite. Listen, I play games casually. I'm not a professional gamer at all. For my use, it's still been way more than adequate and really good in a lot of cases. But games like Cyberpunk, even Spider-Man 2, depending on your texture settings, I think can flirt with that limit. And when it hits, performance dips, not necessarily frame rate tanking to the floor, but if you're like looking, I think you'll notice some texture popping or kind of sudden stutters. I think Lenovo makes some of the best screens in the PC industry. The Pro 5 screen is a 16-inch with G-Sync anti-burn protection. It is fast, it's responsive, and it looks fantastic. It's also a matte display or anti-glare. I have a love-hate relationship with anti-glare. You guys might love it, you might not, but at least know that that's a thing here with the Pro 5. So Legion 5's OLED is absolutely stunning. The 15.1 in size and lower peak brightness in the Pro means a bit more manageable, I think, than most comparable laptops that have glossy screens when it comes to glare. Worth noting though that not every Legion 5 does come with the OLED screen. You can save some money by going with an LCD version, which is still a solid panel, but Lenovo's OLEDs are really, really good. Great color, fast refresh, and better contrast I think you'd expect at this price. If you can swing the upgrade, I think it is absolutely worth it and be probably the first box that I would check. I talk about VRR, but I don't know if I've really ever defined it. So it stands for variable refresh rate, or G-Sync, and here's why I think it matters. Most displays refresh at a fixed rate, say 60 or 165 times per second. But games don't always hit those exact frame rates, so when your game runs at like 74 FPS and your screen's trying to show you 165 FPS, that mismatch can cause some screen tearing, and that's little horizontal lines that stutter or kind of break up the image. VRR lets your display sync up exactly with your GPU's output, so you get smoother, more stable gameplay without those visual hiccups. And G-Sync is just NVIDIA's version of that tech, designed to reduce input lag and make everything feel more responsive, which I think is really useful in fast-paced games, for me, like Spider-Man, or shooters where every frame counts. So bottom line for that, the motion looks clean, stutters are gone, and fast-paced games feel locked in. Neither of these laptops have a touchscreen, which honestly I wish they did. It's not a deal breaker, but on a premium display like this, it just feels a bit like a missed opportunity. Here's another small but strange one. The Legion 5 supports Windows Hello facial recognition, while the Pro 5 does not. In fact, it's got no biometrics at all. No IR camera, no fingerprint reader, which is not uncommon for gaming laptops, but it's still something just to know about if kind of quick logins matter to you. All right, so when it comes to displays, it's not just what you see, it's also kind of what you touch every day that can make or break the experience. Both laptops use Lenovo's True Strike keyboard setup, and I think it's legitimately one of the best in the category. You got deep travel, soft landing, there's no mush. The Pro 5 does have RGB lighting, even lets you swap keycaps if you want to customize your WAS setup. Legion 5 sticks with more of like a clean layout, sort of optional white backlight, but the typing felt the same to me, thanks to that AMD Ryzen processor. For anyone doing schoolwork, coding, editing like YouTube videos between gaming sessions, both of these can absolutely handle it. But if using this for more than gaming, things like external monitors, accessories, whatever, the port situation matters too. So Legion 5 gives you, I guess I can call it like a classic Legion layout with a mix of side and rear ports, including power and HDMI on the back, which I thought helped keep cables out of the way. Pro 5, on the other hand, moves everything to the sides, which definitely makes things easier to access, but can lead to a bit of kind of cable clutter on your desk. You still get a strong set of options on both though, just bear in mind. USB-C with power delivery is here, but if you're doing any sort of heavy load, you're gonna wanna use the power brick for that. You're gonna get plenty of USB-A, HDMI 2.1, and Ethernet, but the placement might be a deciding factor depending on how you set up your workspace. Both models also let you upgrade your RAM and storage yourself, which sounds basic, but in 2025, that is not a given. All right, so I do wanna talk value here too, since both these computers cost a decent amount of money. The Legion 5 usually undercuts the Pro 5 by a couple $100 more during sales. That makes sense. It's lighter, more minimal, doesn't have quite the same level of raw power or cooling hardware. But if you're playing games at 1080p or playing a lot of StarCraft 2 like I still do, or anything that doesn't max out both CPU and GPU at once, you might really never notice a difference. So if you're wondering how these actually stack up against everything else on the shelf, here's what makes them stand out. First, they feel solid. Not flashy, not over-designed, just sturdy. The keyboards are legitimately some of the best you'll find on any gaming laptop. Fast, comfortable, and actually usable for long sessions. The thermals are really smart too. Lenovo doesn't just crank up fans to 100 and call it a day. These stay cool under pressure without sounding like they are ready to take off. And what you don't see on the shelf, but really matters, is support too. Something goes wrong, Lenovo's service is generally fast and responsive. Doesn't make you regret buying a thing in the first place. You're getting a laptop that's built well, performs well, and doesn't make you babysit it. That alone, I think, puts it ahead of what's sort of sitting next to it on Best Buy's shelves. So who's each one for? If you're the kind of gamer who wants to never think about settings, just want the best performance you can get in every game, and maybe do a little streaming or editing on the side, it's clearly the Legion Pro 5. That's your move. It's built for gamers. Give us power, thermals, and ports, and then don't charge me, $3,500 for it. If you're looking for a machine that still crushes most modern games, runs cooler, looks a little more understated, and saves you a few $100, Legion 5 is a sleeper pick, especially if you're gaming at 1080p, doing some programming, or just want a laptop that can kind of hang with heavy tasks without needing to be strapped to a power brick at all times. Personally, I would pick the Pro, but that's because I had both sitting in front of me, like literally setting them both up at the same time. My job is to test these things. If I had only used the Legion 5, I would have been perfectly happy. It's fast, it's well built, handled everything I threw at it. Things didn't have to be maxed out, but I got a really good gaming performance. All right, so bottom line, both are really solid, really good buys, and they're clearly made with gamers in mind. Just make sure you buy the one that matches your needs, not the one with the bigger number in the name. At the end of the day, I think whether it says Pro or not, the real question sort of isn't what it looks like. It's whether it can play like you need it to.